Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of sivofec Connecting Life Choices. Before we start, let us pay our respect to the traditional owners of the land, elders past, present and emerging. Today sivofec is connecting with a tennis coach. The tennis coach name is Ben Golts. Now you will wonder why a tennis coach in our community. Of course, he's not only a tennis coach, he's more than a tennis coach. That is the reason sivofec is connecting with Ben. Now, Ben is the coach of this Clyde tennis club in Victoria. My son, 12 years old son and 7 years old son, both are being coached by Ben. That is how I got to know Ben. Now, why Ben today? Like I said, is Ben is more than a coach. Ben is shaping people's life. Ben is helping build kids, teenagers, adults into this society to do the right thing. He's a role model. He's more than a coach, he's a role model. Of course, Ben is a fantastic coach. He has a lot of history behind what he does. I will leave up to Ben to talk about that when we meet up with Ben. The introduction is about Ben is that he's more than a coach. I'm sure Ben is not going to talk about that on my interview, but the community over here knows Ben. Community over here in Clyde North respect Ben, reach out to Ben, work with Ben, because he is a role model in this society that he deeply cares of what he does and he deeply cares connecting with people. That is the reason sivofec is with him. Before we talk more and more about Ben, let us go and join Ben and then we'll start the interview with Ben. Here we are, we come up to caught up with Ben. Ben is here right now. Ben, I spoke a little bit about you before we come in here. You want to take us through what you do here and give a little bit of introduction about you from your younger days. And off to you, Ben.
Okay. Yeah, well, I'm the head tennis coach at Clyde Tennis Club. It's Clyde North in Victoria. Yeah, I've just started as the head tennis coach here. Started my own business at the start of this year, so 2024. Got a fairly good business these days. It didn't start that way. We started off pretty small numbers, but now it's rocking pretty good. I've got, I think, 5 coaches working for me. I've got competition I've got to look after. I've got junior coordination. We've got to do fine fill-ins. I've got a fair role with the club, and trying to obviously grow and build it as much as we can. That's my current role. You were saying from my start. It's an interesting story. I'll try and share this with the kids as much as possible so I can relate to them. But I actually started playing tennis when I was 10 years of age. And when I played at Locksport Primary, we used to play cricket, and they built this is all paddocks and all that, and basically they built a cricket club. And in building a cricket club, we used to go and bat and bowl and do all that sort of stuff and have fun on the oval. And I was very good at bowling everyone out and batting and never going out and throwing and hitting the stumps, and so good coordination. And then one day, one of the organisers came over and said, "Oh, you're very good. We're going to make a cricket team. Would you like to play?" And so I felt proud that I was asked, because that's always exciting and a bit scary that a stranger kind of asks you that question. But then instantly it was like, is that with a real cricket ball? So my fear was getting hit, which is kind of weird. And I was okay with tennis ball, but I was fearful of that. And I actually said no. And I thought that was the end of it. And then one night we get a knock on the door, and here's the same guy. He's here to put pressure on my parents to get me to play cricket. And I was sitting there watching TV, just praying that mum was going to say no, and that was it. And she comes walking up to me, and she goes, "This guy is from the cricket club. He wants to know if you can play cricket. He said you're very good." And I said, "No, I don't want to play." And I don't know if this is true. I was thinking about this, and I'm not sure if she already had pre-planned, maybe we might do tennis. But she walked back and she goes, no, sorry, he's going to do tennis. We're going to go to tennis. We're going to drive to Sale, which is a 40-minute drive, and we're going to do tennis on Saturday morning. So, no, thank you, but that's it. And that's how my tennis started, playing from 10 years of age. Yeah. Do you want to elaborate more?
Yeah, and then I know you play for state, so
Yeah.
tell us how it will look.
Yeah. So I guess for me, I was quite a competitive person. Like outdoors, we were always outdoors. Locksport is a lake on one side and a surf beach on the other side, so it's Bass Strait. And it's a small town, kangaroos everywhere, so if you like kangaroos, go to Locksport. Plenty of mosquitoes though, so watch out for that. But beautiful place, and you're just outdoors riding bikes, doing everything naughty that you could possibly do. But yeah, your friends are your friends. It's almost like an old movie sort of thing. But yeah, so I got into tennis, and then the group lessons I started. I did very well at it. The coach challenged us to do certain challenges to win a tennis ball. So I obviously practiced a lot to win a tennis ball because I wanted to win, and that was it. And yeah, the next week win a tennis ball. Some other challenge, one of them was bouncing the ball in all different ways, doing it the longest, and I can't remember what the second one was. And now I was pumped to turn up the third week, and because it was Saturday morning and we started our lesson before competition, she said, "Oh, you're not playing competition today. You're not having coaching. Sorry, you're playing competition." And I was devastated because I was not going to be able to win the ball, and I didn't really think about it. But then after that, my mum goes, "But he doesn't know how to score, doesn't know the rules." "Oh, you'll be right. He's very good, so he'll be fine." And yeah, that probably started the competition. I don't think I went back to that coaching. I changed to another coach after that. And then yeah, it was just be the best in the team and be the best in the club. And then I ended up the best in the area. And then I was like, what now? I was like, okay, well, my mum sort of said, you're wasting your time just staying here. So we went to Traralgon, new coach, back to being middle class, not maybe a good junior, but nowhere near as good as the best players. Took a while, and then eventually got better to be one of the best there, and then moved to Melbourne, and it was definitely middle class again. And then sort of doing the pennant sort of system, starting in grade 3 and moving my way up. Got to grade 1, played for many years in grade 1 number 1 with good records, but just couldn't get that spot in the state grade team. Quite political to be able to get in the team, to be honest. And yeah, I finally got my spot at Dingley Tennis Club, and yeah, they promised me three matches contracted. So I went, well, I'll get 3 matches, so that's good. And in my first match, I played Glenn Busby, who's coach at Kooyong, who just is one of the best seniors in the world. He slices and has no pace, complete opposite the way I play. And yeah, I think I lost the first set 6-1 or something like that. I was just totally out of it. And then just had a regroup. Yeah, I think I might have won the next 6-1 or something, and then I was 4-1 up, 4-love up or something in the third set, and then I rolled my ankle. And yeah, like really badly. I knew instantly, and I had a boot in my bag that I put on, and I wasn't going to not play because I thought if I lose to this old guy, which in respect, a very old guy, very good old guy, they'll never let me play again. I just had that in my head. So I hobbled and played, and I lost 13-11 in the tiebreaker and lost that match. It took me about 3 or 4 weeks to get back, not 100% but back. And they said, "Oh, you're right to play." And I was like, yeah, I really didn't think I was ever going to play. And I thought they'd boot me for sure. And I think I ended that season 7-2. I won 7 matches, lost 2 in singles. And then that sort of gave me my spot, like in state grade. And yeah, winning tournaments and doubles and mixed and travelling around and all that sort of stuff. And then got into coaching. Coaching was...
And you were ranked 112 in states?
In Victoria, yeah, they come out with a new ranking system, and yeah, I played 4 tournaments in a row, and my brother gave me a picture of the ranking pictures, and I was 112 in Australia. It took me 4 weeks to do it, which sounds like a bit of a smart aleck thing, but it just happened that those 4 weeks were like this tournament, school holidays, 2 tournaments, and then it was Easter. So I kind of just had that window, and then I didn't really play that much after that. Um, but I was never chasing trying to be number one or anything like that. I was just playing the tournaments. I definitely wanted to play because it was new and I wanted to see how I went. And yeah, had reasonably good success. That's why I got there. But yeah, coaching kind of took over. So coaching was, even through that period, like I was coaching from 2001, so I must have been like 24 or something like that. And yeah, I just got so much into coaching. Like, obviously, I started off as a guy. It was kind of a bit funny, and limited hours, not much in a pay rate. And so then it was like, oh, how do I get paid more? And like I've said to you before, my whole process of moving from Sale, where I lived, down to Melbourne was to try and get a computing job, because that's what my field was that I studied in. But I wasn't passionate about it at all. It was more money driven. Like, yeah, you got to get money. And the place I was in Sale, they wouldn't let me play pennant on Saturdays because I had to work. So then I wanted to get rid of it. Came down, and Paul gave me a job in Pearstone and Cranbourne down here. And yeah, he said, I'll just fill in the first week. I filled in the first week, and I filled in the second week, and I was with him for 22 years. So it was a long time, but yeah, just trying to I just had that process where it was like, okay, I've got to get more qualified so I get paid more. So when I got paid more, qualified more, I got paid more, and then, okay, when I reached that qualification, I was like, okay, I can't really go anywhere from here. And then I was lucky, I picked up a really good girl that was part of Paul's coaching that preferred me to coach. And yes, she was number 2 in Australia, and they gave me a very big status as a coach in this area, and coaching at the highest level. And then that sort of branched out to some other good players. And yeah, then I was like, well, Paul, I'm doing this, so I need more money. so he did well, he gave me some more money. And yeah, so I've always had that process until just this year when I took over this club myself. And now it's really shifted. My sort of look of how things have got to be, it's now, it's like, what can I do next? Like you said, community. Like, I want to make this club like a real brand of my club, even though it's Clyde, but I want the coaching to be my brand. It's like, everyone knows I'm here. If you come and get coaching, this is what you get, type of thing. And just be really honest about who's coaching for me and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, this club is huge. So we had the opening day here.
Yeah, that's massive.
We thought we would have some coming in because we were just opening it, but it was pounded with players and parents here, and now it's massive. Like,
Yeah.
you beat in Cranbourne, where you worked 22 years in under 3 months.
Yeah.
Now, one of the things as a parent, my son's training with you, and you're the coach for my Golts kids. One thing as parents I've noticed is you're very good at what you do as a tennis coach, but you are excellent at building people, helping them and nature,
Yeah.
and that is, and also you take like real high risk. You believe in people. You got 15-year-old Noah is your assistant coach, and you have given him the power to go and do it, and he's doing an absolutely fantastic job here. What's the secret behind that?
Well, all the kids I coach, so I've got Chanel Walker, Xavier, Noah, and Walker, Walker, I mentioned. I've got all those guys. I've got another one I'm looking at the moment, but they're all kids I've coached since I was really young. So to some people they look like young kids, but to me I've coached them since they were 8. So they've had private lesson after private lesson. I know the parents inside and out, which is a massive thing, because one, you have to be reliable to be a tennis coach. I can't have like 10 kids in a group lesson with 2 coaches when there's one coach there. It doesn't matter who you are. Like, I'm going to die on that situation as well. Like, there's no chance. But yeah, I call them kids, and I explained that earlier, that they're kids, but because I've coached them since they're 8, and now they're getting 20s and all sorts of stuff. So they'll always be kids to me because I'm quite old. But yeah, I think it's about just being honest. Like, anyone rings me up about lessons because we're quite full now. Noah was actually one of the last coaches that I looked at to get a lot of privates and things like that, just simply because of his size and his age, like you said. But yeah, you just be honest and you go, well, this kid's actually been coached by me, and so it comes back to me. So they're listening to me more than anything. And I've had a couple of people go, no, I'm not going to do that. I was like, that's fine, it's okay, but we don't have anything. So they move on to somewhere else, or they'll come back another time and they'll ring. And I think the biggest thing is like all the coaches that I've got have very little reputations in this area too, because it's Ben, right? But who's Chanel, who's Walker, who's Noah, who's Xavier. So they also have to build that too. So they all the time I took to get that, they need to get that as well. But yeah, you just be honest with people, and you help them with lesson plans. You talk to them before and after their nights. You try and address things, and because they're loyal to me, they don't want to do a bad job. And that's probably one of the hardest things actually, is that they're so afraid to do something wrong that they kind of, I don't know, get a bit down on themselves sometimes. And you're just reassuring that, you know what, we all learn, and I'll give them an example of something I've done, because we've all done it. And you relate to them, and they respond to it, especially the kids you actually coach. Like I've always been like that. I've always related my stories, like how I started tennis was cricket. And I actually don't like cricket at all. Like I'll watch a little bit of it when it's on TV, 5 minutes maybe to see what a cricket score is, but I couldn't tell you the last time I actually watched cricket. But I know a lot of people love it, so I relate to them and I say, look, I know you love cricket, but cricket's the reason why I got into tennis. And they're like, what? You hate cricket? I was like, yeah, but without cricket I wouldn't have probably played tennis. So it all comes around in circles, so it's all fun.
Yeah, very true. We love that you're taking the chance. You said there has to be others like me, so you're building. You're not limiting yourself. You're just giving it to the
You have to build.
society.
You have to build, otherwise we can't service the area.
Yeah.
And so people might look at that as like, oh, this coach is in here and he's got all these little kids coaching for him, so I'm going to get a lesson that's really quite rubbish, to be honest. And I've seen that. Like my son does a couple of things, and yeah, you get the junior coach is yawning and just there for, I don't know, $15 an hour or something like that. So their passion isn't in it; they're just doing it for a job. But yeah, it's actually like I need to build them up so that there's more people that can play tennis. And so yeah, it is money, but if you don't build it, then you've got no chance. You just can't put out a flyer and say, oh, we want 200 people here now. It's not going to happen if you don't have the structure of who's there. So very mindful of the fact that their lives will change too. Like I said, one's doing university, two actually. One's just started, so we'll have him for a few years. But one of the other ones has probably got 2 years of uni left. Who knows if that's going to keep going with coaching? Probably not. Being a lawyer, that is. So I don't think a lawyer's going to want to do the lawyer job during the day and rush down here at night. So you always got to be thinking who's the next in line. And I've got a couple of kids again that I've put on as just training, looking like they just observe that they're volunteering their time, and I pay them back with giving them uniforms, and I'll certainly look after them. That's probably the next part, is looking after the kids that coach for me and the staff that works for me. Like you can't say thank you enough, because without them, you're done.
Sure.
You're done. You're no community if you're by yourself. So I look after them, which is it'll cost more, but it's not a cost if it's making something better and bigger.
Exactly.
So that's why I always do that.
Exactly. Ben always tell that he shows very little, thinks little, and let actions take. I think you've been doing that when you were playing for states, but right now you still think very small, but you are massive. So really, really proud about you being humble and honest and open to care for the community. Ben is listed in our website as a community member, and we're super proud to have you, and thank you very much for giving the opportunity. If you're around here, if you're looking for a coach, and if you're looking for someone who's going to shape your kid's life, build behaviors, tend to a society as a better person, please get in touch with Ben. If you don't have Ben's details, it's in our website. You can go and get the information. And for UK viewers here, we are going to go massive creating awareness in UK. If you're coming down under, if you're coming to Melbourne, come and see Ben. Ben lives not far from CBD. We are in Clyde North. Come and have a practice session or whatever. Take the message. We are small, but we are really big. This is the difference that we can make. This is what we want to do. We got to collect everyone who's doing the right thing today, and create a society that help each other and look after each other. And it's a pleasure having you here, Ben. Thank you very
No
much.
problem. Pleasure.
We really appreciate it.